Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Lords and Kings, and welcome to Wednesday's Wisdom. Well, welcome to Lords and Kings, where Jesus Christ is King of Kings and Lord of Lords, and you, ladies and gentlemen, are Lords and Kings. That's right, you heard me. You are Lords and you are Kings. Well, in today's installment of Wednesday Wisdom, what I want to do is talk to you about faith. What is faith? What is faith? Well, I know as Christians we were taught that faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen from Hebrews 11. But what's the practical application of that? What does that mean? Where does faith come from? Well, faith comes from God. We also know that faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. What does that mean? What's the practical application of that? Well, let's just talk about it and make it simple. You see, faith comes from the Word of God. Well, what is the Word of God? Well, what we need to do is break that down a little more. What is a word? Now, a word is something we don't really think about much because we use them every day, so it's just normal to us. But when you think about it in detail, you find that a word is basically a package or a container for thought. Think about it. Before you speak a word, you have to think first. Before you speak a word, you have to think first. So in order for you to deliver your thoughts or your ideas, you have to put them in word form, whether it be written or spoken. But your thoughts and ideas have to be put into word form. Now, faith comes by hearing the word of God. So, God's words are filled with God's thoughts. God's words are filled with God's thoughts. So it's God's intention to deliver to you His ideas, His concepts, and His plans. So in order for Him to get that to you, He has to put it in word form. It's just communication. He chooses to communicate to us through word form. Now, on the other side of this process, we receive the words. Now, here's where most of us miss it. When we get the word of God, we do not go through the process of extracting the thought or the idea. So, a word is a container for a thought. Now, what's in God's words? God's thoughts. So God delivers His ideas, His concepts to us through His words. He delivers His thoughts to us through His words. So we receive His words, therefore we receive His thoughts. Now, what's the objective of that? Well, the objective of God giving us His thoughts is so that we can think as He thinks. So that we can think as He thinks. So what He does is He gives us His words. We receive His words. We extract His thoughts from His words, and we begin the process of renewing our mind or changing how we think. We become transformed because, after all, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So at the end of the day, we end up thinking like God from His words. So this is it, plain and simple. Faith is simply thinking as God thinks. Faith is thinking like God, or faith is thinking as God. That's it, plain and simple. So join me next week for another edition of Wednesday's Wisdom.